Tonight, cut off from the outside world. Wild storms smash the Spencer Gulf, trees down and thousands of lightning strikes. And the new mayors of the Spencer Gulf revealed as votes continue to be counted in the local government elections.
From our 7 Spencer Gulf studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Wild weather has caused chaos across parts of the Spencer Gulf, with fallen trees, lightning strikes, heavy rain and strong winds recorded over the weekend. Emergency crews are working all hours to clear the debris in the worst hit areas.
A weekend of turbulent weather. Over the past 4 days, South Australia has been battered by a series of storm systems. The wild weather beginning on Thursday night, with the Whyalla community treated to a spectacular light show in the night sky. The clash of thunder and the sight of lightning bolts signalling the arrival of heavy falls that would continue on sporadically in the days to come. Further down the Gulf, communities were inundated with water, with Port Lincoln alone recording 35 millimetres of rain in less than 2 hours on Saturday morning.
There's been a lot of water inundation into people's houses, either through roof tiles or through flooded backyards and such like, but also a significant number of trees that have come down with those stronger winds.
On Sunday, the winds picked up across the Gulf, with a trough of low pressure moving rapidly eastwards across the state. Cities in the Iron Triangle hit hard, with wind gusts of 98 kilometres recorded at Coltana. The sheer force of the wind yesterday able to uproot trees like the one behind me, and in Whyalla, marketgoers at the city's peppercorn market reported marquee tents taking flight in the gale. And check out the size of this tree at Port Pirie's Woodward Park, lifted up by the wind and dropped on the adjacent toilet block. The same weather system knocked out the state's main electricity interconnector with Victoria, plunging areas of Adelaide into darkness, while communities in the north of the state were unable to access Telstra services also due to downed infrastructure. Police have been reporting that residents around Lee Creek have been unable to contact emergency services on 000 today. Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The South Australian local government elections have delivered some major upsets over the weekend. In Port Augusta, voters have again gone against incumbency, choosing Lindley Shine to be the city's new mayor.
The people of Port Augusta have spoken loud and clear, with Lindley Shine elected as the city's new mayor following Saturday's election results by the Election Commission.
Messages of support have been absolutely constant and sincere, and I'm really looking forward to working with our elected members to advance this beautiful city of ours, Port Augusta, and do some of the really refocusing of our efforts.
Councillor Shine will be the first female mayor of Port Augusta since Joy Belush, and has campaigned hard on revitalising Port Augusta, especially with housing and reducing the antisocial behaviour.
We want some sustainable and long-term solutions toward our challenges in this matter. And from my perspective, I really would like to include that to be focused on breaking the cycle around addiction.
The outgoing councillor defeated incumbent Mayor Brett Bembo by a landslide, winning 2,858 votes to 1,347, or over 60% of the popular vote in the two-candidate race. Lindley Shine will be Port Augusta's 4th mayor in 9 years. She will carry the hopes and wishes of thousands of people who want to see the city turn around. Meanwhile, counting continues for the City Council, with full results expected on Wednesday, and Lindley Shine will be sworn in next Tuesday. Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Meantime, Whyalla locals have had their say, choosing to elect former Deputy Phil Stone into the city's top job, replacing the outgoing Claire McLaughlin. Over the coming days, the remaining 9 councillors will be declared.
As we quickly approach the end of the year, it looks as though Christmas has come early for mayoral candidate Phil Stone. The State Electoral Commission provisionally declaring the long-term community man as the new mayor of Whyalla.
Very humbling. It is a great way to finish the year. Looking forward to Christmas now. The election is over. We can just start the work and get moving forward and it's all for everyone. Certainly not everyone voted for me. That's the democracy at work, but I will certainly represent everyone.
The incoming mayor says he thanks the community for putting their trust in him, and he says he will work hard to increase transparency between the council and the community they represent.
More communication, more updates. When are you starting the foreshore? When are you starting the rec centre and other major projects? So I'd like to see that we need to look at and give the community more regular updates.
Stone says the election period has also served as an excellent opportunity to liaise with the community about issues affecting them and how he can help.
I have committed to everybody that commented to me during the election campaign that all their comments, whether they be positive or critical of me and or council, I will take them on board and we will look at all those.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
And there's been a changing of the guard in Port Lincoln, with Diana Mislov crowned as the mayor of the township. A long time coming, Ms Mislov has defeated long-time rival Brad Flaherty at the polls. Diana will become the township's 20th elected mayor, joining a long list of Port Lincoln's alumni dating back to the 1920s. As for Port Pirie, there will be no changes, with Leon Stevens remaining in the role, his position unopposed. And we'll be sure to hear from our new mayor later in the week. The much anticipated rocket launch out of Whalers Way has been postponed due to the severe storm that ravaged parts of the Eyre Peninsula over the weekend. High winds and heavy rain struck the Whalers Way orbital launch complex, causing major damage to the electrical systems of the launch vehicle. South Australia recorded 423,000 lightning strikes over the weekend as the storm moved across parts of the state. Southern Launch CEO Lloyd Damp says the company is taking every precaution at the orbital launch complex to protect their customers' assets along with their own. However, the large quantity of lightning strikes to the area was unprecedented and caused damage to the vehicle. AT Space will begin repairing the damage and will attempt a launch in the coming weeks. Still to come tonight, teachers in Broken Hill to receive a pay rise, but the unions still aren't happy. And Crows star Tex Walker puts on an absolute clinic for future footy stars in Port Lincoln. Welcome back. A Wallaroo man has lost his licence and will front Kadina Magistrates Court soon after he allegedly blew well over the legal blood alcohol limit in the very early hours of this morning. York and Mid-North Highway Patrol pulled over a car just after midnight on Irvine Street. The 47-year-old driver allegedly recorded a blood alcohol reading of 0.215. That's more than 4 times the legal limit. He was reported for drink driving and handed an instant loss of licence for 12 months. His car has also been impounded for 28 days. Teachers in Broken Hill and the rest of New South Wales will be getting a pay rise over the next 2 years. Pay is set to increase by 6% over the rest of 2022 and 2023, but the unions are demanding double what the state government is offering. Minister for Education and Early Learning, Sarah Mitchell, says she hopes the unions work constructively with the government following their decision. Unions want to see a 6% pay increase for this year and next year, totalling 12%. Adelaide Crows royalty visited the Eyre Peninsula Supporters Group in Port Lincoln over the weekend. Star forwards Tex Walker and Riley Thilthorpe ran a football clinic for the young players, helping them kick some goals.
A day young Crows fans will never forget. Former captain and club legend Tex Walker alongside young gun Riley Thilthorpe ran a clinic in hopes of helping the next generation improve their game.
I flew in this morning, Thilly flew in on Friday afternoon, so come out and ran a clinic with 20 kids ranging from 8 years of age to 14, so had a bit of fun here today.
The club's 2 key forwards keeping things simple for the youngsters, working through the fundamentals.
Yeah, it's pretty basic because we had such a big age group. So a little bit of kicking, a little bit of handballing, a couple of races, a couple of games, bit of goal kicking. Texan needs a bit of work in. So we had a good fun.
The Eyre Peninsula Crows supporter group held their annual Christmas show where both players stayed for a Q&A. Tex says it's important for him and the club to connect with the regional fan base.
They don't get the access to, stars like Filthy, like some city kids do, so it's always good to come out here and spend a bit of time with them and try and teach them a few skills and encourage them to keep playing footy.
As for the rest of the playing group, pre-season is just on the horizon. Both players are optimistic for the 2023 season, with the goal of making the 8 a priority for the club. And with some new recruits to the cavalry, they think they can do exactly that.
It's always good to get back in and get fit and get strong, and hopefully we can push for the finals next year.
I think we're getting a lot of games to the younger boys, and obviously ranks coming over is going to be huge for us. So looking forward to the forward line. I think it's going to be pretty good. Hopefully finals, yeah.
Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
With the bushfire season now in full effect across South Australia and tinderbox conditions witnessed last week, the CFS is on high alert. A number of fires already broke out in the state's far north and northeast recently, and high fire danger zones declared for the eastern Eyre Peninsula, Yorke Peninsula and northeast pastoral areas.
Given the amount of growth that we've had on and off for the past 3-4 months has been extraordinary. We're still getting that the weather pattern come through with the ad hoc rain. That's expected until the end of November. So we're going to be pretty well on edge in December and January, February.
For more information, go to the CFS website or download their app. Stay with us after the break. Family-friendly fun. The Silver City Races returns to Broken Hill for a run on the dirt track. And the South Australian side heading into the preliminary finals of the AFLW. Welcome back. The Silver City Races returned over the weekend after a 3-year absence due to COVID. The bad weather stayed away long enough for all 6 races to be run, with organisers already looking forward to next year's event.
There was fashion, there were drinks flowing, and more importantly, there were horses racing. The Silver City Races made a triumphant return to the city's social calendar.
Look, it's fantastic to have race day back again. After 3 years in hibernation, it's good to see the people of Broken Hill turned out, and we had a fairly good day.
In the lead up to race day, the weather played a bit of havoc, knocking over one of the marquees, with workers and committee members working hard to get it set up for the event.
Look, very stressful. We didn't want to cancel again for another year. It would have been just devastating to the committee and the people of Broken Hill, but it held off. It was a warm day, and we're quite happy with it.
There were some delays to the races. A few had to be pushed back half an hour due to lightning that was around. Organisers relieved the brunt of the storm held off.
It was a big relief, but there was lightning in the area, so racing stewards hold off for about a half hour under regulations, but we eventually got underway and it was only about an hour late, so it was good.
There's still some number crunching to be done, but overall, those involved were happy with the attendance on the day.
There's no figures of who's through the gate yet. We're still in early days, we're still crunching numbers, but it was a good day and we're very happy with the turnout.
Even though the dust has only just settled on this year's event, organisers are looking forward to next year and what they can do to improve it.
Look, we are. We have to get back to the drawing board about a few things, but look, it's just like all events. We had 3 years off. The day went off rather well.
Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Adelaide are through to the preliminary finals of the AFLW after downing Collingwood. Meantime, North Melbourne destroyed Richmond by 36 points.
It was do or die for the Crows if they wanted to keep their finals hopes alive, even if the weather was causing havoc. Gameplay was delayed twice as lightning lit up the sky and the rain fell.
Obviously we just had to be patient and wait for our time to go, I guess. We didn't get out for warm-up, I don't think, for 40 minutes late or something like that. So we're all just in the change rooms just trying to keep ourselves entertained. So, it was really bizarre.
Adelaide soldiered on despite the tough conditions, easily clipping the wings of Collingwood at final siren. Adelaide won 3-5-23 to 1-5-11. Meanwhile, the Roos made mincemeat out of the Tigers, crushing their opponents in easy fashion. North Melbourne took the win, with Richmond going down 6-2-38 to 11-8-75. As the AFLW heads towards the preliminary finals this weekend, Premier Peter Malinauskas is basking in the official confirmation that Adelaide will host all 9 footy matches during round 5 of the AFL next year, and couldn't resist a barb at New South Wales.
Turn on the NRL on most weekends and, it looks like a sample game. So, we're going to get far bigger crowds here and that's something we're proud of and is worth backing in.
Adelaide will also host a State of Origin match next year as well. Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. No washout for Broken Hill cricketers taking to the pitches for round 4 of the Barrier Cricket League. And much calmer conditions today. We'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Welcome back. With rain affecting the early rounds of the Barrier District Cricket League, the league was able to get back on track this week. With just one game played over the weekend, it was over and done with before the wild weather hit Broken Hill. Joshua Mercer has this week's cricket wrap.
West Broken Hill are looking good so far, winning their second game of the season over North by 1 wicket. With plenty of rain hitting Broken Hill and surrounds, Saturday's game is only the second of this season. After winning the grand final rematch the week before against Central, West were able to overcome North in a T20 fixture. After 20 overs, North was 7 for 64. When it looked like West were going to chase that down easily, with Matt Hamburg and Peter Christos forming a good partnership before the wickets started to fall. West losing 5 wickets for just 1 run. North leg spinner Riley Bomford was one of the stars with the ball, taking 3 for 8, while Chase Johnson also helped his side out with 3 for 11. West were well served by Peter Christos, Matt Hamburg and Patrick Atard with the bat. The win capped off a big weekend for the club as they celebrated the 100-year reunion. Moving over to the Northern Super League now, and West Augusta has downed North Whyalla by 8 runs. Cal Irvine and Mitchell Foote both top scoring with 30 runs, with Irvine picking up 4 wickets and Darcy Irvine getting 3. North Whyalla's best with the bat was Chad Clothier, who scored 26 runs. Ali Khan and captain Matthew Quist both took 4 wickets each for North Whyalla. In the other Super League game, Central Augusta won by 4 wickets over Rapina. Drew McDonald top scoring for Central with 40 not out. Michael Dyson helping his team scoring the next highest with 22. Roby McDonald managed to take 4 wickets and was supported by Christopher Crabb taking 3. Rapina's top run scorers was Asish Singh on 34 and Nick Jones on 24. Peter Shepherd and Joel Harris both taking 2 wickets each. Only 1 game was played in Port Pirie, however it did have to be abandoned due to wet weather. The Rams had set a target of 108 for Proprietary to try and chase down, but Mother Nature getting in the Panthers' way there, and all games in Port Lincoln were also abandoned due to wet weather. That's all for this week's Cricket Wrap. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night where we will take a look at the region's other sports.
Joshua Mercer reporting there. Well, it's time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Alex Sykes. Alex, it was much cooler across the Spencer Gulf today.
Much cooler, Maddie. After a couple of days in the mid-30s, it was a bit of a shock to the system. Port Augusta topped 23 degrees today. Clare maxed out at just 14 and Port Pirie reached 19. Looking more broadly at today's weather map now, 24 up in Cooperpedy, our warmest centre of the day. 22 the top in Broken Hill, 18 in Kadina, Port Lincoln and Adelaide. Taking a look at the satellite image now, a low pressure system southeast of Tasmania and a high pressure system southwest of Western Australia are bringing a cooler southwest to southeasterly airstream over South Australia. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Southerly winds 15 to 20 knots, seas around a metre, and south to southwesterly swell 1 to 1.5 metres, increasing to 2.5 metres. Cloudy in Port Lincoln tomorrow between 9 and 16 degrees, exactly the same in Cleve. A bit warmer in Woodner, cloudy and 22 20 degrees on Tuesday. An early shower or two in Whyalla, 18, partly cloudy and 19 in Port Augusta, Kadina cloudy and 18 degrees there. Port Pirie will be cloudy as well, 19, chilly in Clare, 13 again tomorrow, and partly cloudy around Broken Hill, 17 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now and starting with Wednesday's weather forecast, and things are looking very cloudy in the southeastern zone of our map. Cloud coverage in Port Pirie, Kadina, Adelaide and over in Port Lincoln, temperatures between 18 and 20 degrees. Elsewhere, partly cloudy conditions in Whyalla, Woodna and Port Augusta, blue skies and 27 degrees in Cooper Pedy. Moving on to Thursday's outlook now, which is looking more like the middle of November. A sunny top of 27 in Port Augusta, 30 degrees on the way for Woodna, 26 in Port Pirie, sunny and 25 in Whyalla and Kadina, sunny in Broken Hill as well, heading for a top of 30 degrees. And finally, turning to Friday's forecast, and just like that, the rain will be back. Cooper Pedy set to finish off the working week with a thunderstorm. Showers and 29 in Woodna, Whyalla, Port Augusta and Port Pirie will see some rain as well. All three heading for a top of 27 degrees, showers and 25 in Port Lincoln and Kadina. Maddie, just a reminder, you can stay up to date with the very latest weather situations affecting the Spencer Gulf region by checking the Bureau's or SES's website. That's all from me. It's back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Monday. I'm Madeline Kerr. From all of us here, thanks for joining us. I'll have updates a little later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.